Greetings everyone, Eric Brown, MOBO-Media, MOBO-Media. Hey, I want to get on here and I just wanted to make this video just as a tribute to those that are affected by the floods here in Central Texas. I currently live in the Texas Hill Country. I'm in a high point of the Texas Hill Country, more north of Austin area. The location that was struck so heavily, such as the Mystic Camp down in near Kerr and all that stuff down there, man. That's literally about an hour and a half south of where I am, probably an hour, 15 minutes where I am. It's just so unfortunate. And I felt those rains, man. We continue to feel those rains here in the Hill Country. I want to get a shout out, man, to the first responders, those folks who are continuing to work day and night to try to find those folks who are still maybe alive. There are folks out there doing recovery efforts, unfortunately. Recovery meaning they're looking for dead bodies and things like that. But man, that was just an immense tragedy. It was overwhelming. They didn't even really have time to really react. I heard a lot of stories of, just heroism. There's one story in particular that touched me deeply. I just like sat there and looked at it. I just couldn't believe it, man. There's a family that lived near the river down there, and they were all at home apparently, and the river started to rise, water started coming in, the rain started getting crazy. So it got to the point where it was forcing the door in. And so the man of the house, a young man, I'm not sure how old he was. He looked like he's probably between 25 to 35, something like that. But he the one was trying to handle business, keeping everybody safe, and water was pushing through the front door. So they were trying to get the front door closed to try to stop the water from flowing in. So the water had gotten up to their knees. It was getting up to their knees and coming up to, and then starting to go up to their waist. So and remember, they're on the first floor. They had a 2-story home. Somehow he made a decision to come up with an idea for them to climb up through the second floor. He figured out a way to do it. And so what he did, he didn't have anything to break the window out. So he broke the window out because as you can imagine, in water, it's a little harder with that pressure on there. He breaks the window out with his arm, and it cut a main artery in his arm. He did get the window open. I'm not for sure if the family got to the second floor, but I know they were safe. I want to say they did get to the second floor. But unfortunately, this man bled to death right in their presence. Their loved one bled to death. And that was just it was tragic, man. You know, they were just talking about how much of a hero he is. And in my eyes, that is a hero. You know, it reminds me of, I'm a military veteran. It reminds me of some of our veterans who, they're going harm's way in the interest of something bigger than themselves, There are a lot of heroes in these floods. There's a lot of tragedy, a lot of loss. And I just want to say that in these times, it's really hard to hold on to hope, but I ask people to hold on to hope. You know, there are a lot of parents out there that are hoping their children come home. There are some parents out there whose children came home, but not the way they wanted them to. And so I just want to give a shout out to the folks affected down there, and the first responders, the rescuers, the grieving families, those that have lost so much. It's so important that we give those folks our support and keep them in our thoughts. And know this can happen to anyone. Never in my mind did I imagine something like that would happen down there. I've been to that location a number of times driving through. Very pretty country down there, camping area down there. Tubing, they get tubing on the river, things like that. Kayaking. Never in 100 years I think something like that would happen. Never. But when I saw the map, it was just unbelievable how much the river just swelled and swelled. Almost like an ocean just rushing through that area is what it reminded me of. I spent a lot of time in Asia, and I could tell you some of those scenes play back in my head from what I saw in Asia. You know, Asia has some really horrific floods over there, particularly during typhoons, Philippines, Japan, places like that. And so, man, when I saw that, I just saw scenes of some of those real large scale floods like you see in some of these foreign countries. But this is right here in Texas. This is in Central Texas. And it hit home. And I'm a Texan, born and raised in Fort Worth, so it hits home for me. But one thing I know about Texans, we know how to stand together. We know how to stand together in the midst of tragedy. And we've had quite a bit of tragedy over a number of years. And we'll have more tragedies in the future. But one thing is for certain. We will get through this. We'll get through this. They will rebuild. That landscape will never be the same again, but we will get through this as Texans. So I want to send a shout out and ask everyone to please keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers that are affected by this devastating tragedy. With that, this is Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.